Today, folks, we're going to talk about the commodity renaissance going on right now with governments and institutional investors flooding into the junior resource space with the highest expectations of unlocking hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars of value in very specific commodities like copper, which is sitting at decade highs thanks to electric vehicles that use 4x the amount of copper over traditional ICE vehicles, wind, solar, the traditional electric system that all needs to be upgraded, leading to these decade highs. We've talked about gold sitting at over 3,200 an ounce, raising the entire commodity sector in the stock market next to silver. And there's one junior resource that kind of encompasses all of these with some high expectations, being Hannan Metals, trading on the TSXV under HAN, that recently ran up a whopping 900% from the 2024 lows, or just about 900%, with the expectations that they have a kilometer stretch of a copper porphyry system. They have the potential to unlock a multi-million gold ounce project along with silver. They even had the Japanese government invest 35 million through the JOGMEC to back their project that we're going to talk about with their flagship basically being in Peru. Now, this company did sponsor this video. They just wanted a broad overview. I'm going to leave all the disclaimers in the description below. But if you're on a path to financial independence, if you damn well one day want to retire early, you like the junior resource space, this is an interesting company. So consider subscribing for future updates. But getting into this, I'm going to read the brief overview. We'll talk about their flagships. We'll hear from some of the insiders and so much more. So consider hitting that like button, because Hannan Metals basically is an exploration company opening up search spaces in Peru's new geological frontiers to find the next generation of large-scale global copper and silver gold deposits with a 2,150 square kilometer of mineral tenure. And we are a top 10 concession holder in the country that is dominated by some of the world's largest exploration and mining companies. Hannan is one of the few juniors to acquire such significant land positions. In 2019, at San Martin, Hannan recognized the significant potential for a large copper silver deposit in this part of Peru and aggressively staked a commanding tenure position. In 2020, the company signed a US 35 million earn-in and joint venture on 1/3 of our ground holding at San Martin with a significant industry partner. We also continue to explore 1,300 square kilometers in our own right of copper, gold, and copper silver mineralization. The company considers working alongside local stakeholders as a mission critical. Our social work has laid credible foundations that have allowed us to explore perspective areas which have not previously experienced basically systematic exploration. And I want to dive a bit deeper into this with some of their more recent projects, because they have these two based out of Peru that I think make up something like 1,600 square kilometers. But you can see their focus on this new frontier for these giant discoveries include 69.1 meters at about 2.4 grams per ton of gold and 13 grams per ton of silver, including 26 meters at 5.4 grams per ton gold and 27 grams per ton silver. But their momentum and first drill permit we're going to discuss, with drilling in Peru and Chile for Q2 of 2025, anticipating a pipeline of drill-ready, porphyry, alkaline, epithermal targets over the next 5 years, and then through the JOGMEC for San Martin and basically Tech with 9.9% equity partnership. And I want to just talk about this recent drill program that's been going on because we do get some highlights that I found in a video, basically from the insiders here at the board of directors. So just take a quick listen.
Vista Alegre is the meat in the sandwich, if you like, between we've got the two loaves of bread or slices of bread of the porphyries at each end, Ricardo Herrera and Sortalecchio. The sandwich is about 9 kilometers long, and between porphyry to porphyry, and in the middle is Vista Alegre, which is this epithermal gold project over about 2.5 kilometers. We've got specifically 40 platforms across that whole area. That 9 kilometers with about 13 to 15 platforms where we can drill multiple holes off each platform in any one of those three areas. Vista Alegre we have gold in outcrop and in boulders and in soils, and we've done very detailed IP anomalies. So we're drilling combined IP, which is induced polarization, a geophysical technique that maps the sulfide, the disseminated sulfide in the rock, that when the charge is turned on and off quickly, the sulfide releases that charge a little slower. It holds the charge more so than rocks that don't have sulfide. So we can map the sulfide bodies, and generally sulfides are associated the metals that we're after, in this case, gold. So, and we know there's gold at surface, and we just have to work out the controls and what is the grade at depth, and the truth machine will tell us that. The drill rig will tell us that. So we've got there's something like 3 or 4 holes we're going to drill in each target. There's about 5,000 meters in the program that we'll drill over the next 3 or 4 months. So we don't want to just touch each one lightly. We want to give each target a fair go, but we also want to make sure we test the system before we get too focused. So it's that fine balance that we're trying to achieve. We will bring in another rig once we get the systems and the understanding of the geology up over the coming months, so we can increase the drill speed. But at the moment, we've just got the one rig.
So it really sounds like they're on that path to unlocking a lot of the resource estimates and seeing what those drill results can bring forward. And currently, based on their recent balance sheet, as of February 28th, 2025, they had total assets of about 9.9 million, with about almost 2 million in cash. So it seems like they are being able to fund this drill program. But with the recent run up in the stock price, if they need a bit of liquidity out of the market, I don't think they're going to have a problem getting it. But if you just take a quick look here, basically on that last quarter, they only had a loss of about 282,000. If we take a look at the 9-month, it was about 1.6 million. So it seems like they do have quite a bit of cash to get them through the year. But typically these companies will go out and raise capital because they don't really sit on a whole lot of liabilities. So they're just using the capital to unlock that substantial value, which right now institutions and again governments are seeing is massive, massive potential. And something tells me this space in general is going to continue to be incredibly hot because governments want to start expanding, their own regions. We've seen this in Mexico all the way down to Brazil, all over the world, really. I mean, governments are seeing this as raising their entire economies and villages and different cities and towns and offering employment. So it's a fascinating commodities renaissance that's happening right now. But I will pass the question off to you. I'd love to know what you guys think about Hannan Metals in that comment section below.